Today we have our first viewer or subscriber submitted analysis, Woodman567. This will be uploaded to YouTube on it'll be a public playlist, but the videos will be unlisted, so if you want to see it later, you can go ahead. Woodman's in chat also, so luckily he can interact too if he wants. So today we got 3x3, it's average of 12. Already watched most of it, about 16 or at 17-18 second average, so this is a really good example of what a good video also looks like. GoPro, good lighting, easy to see. Only thing is, and it's totally fine. Just if you had an option, you'd probably center the cube a little more, but it's hard to tell when you're wearing a GoPro. So totally reasonable. This is a great example. Let's see. Let me pull up actually Woodman's. I have like a little questionnaire also. It says, what do you consider to be the best part of your solve? OLL. What do you consider to be the worst part? F2L. How long have you been cubing? 2 to 3 years. How much do you practice? 3 to 7 hours a week. So pretty casual. 3 to 7 hours a week is a pretty standard amount for a lot of people that take as a hobby. 2 to 3 years also a pretty normal amount. Best part OLL, worst part F2L. We'll see. We'll see what I think about that. So we got first solve. All right, I like the finger tricks and the scrambling. Nice back fingers for the back twos. Let's see. I watched Woodman's a white only cross solver, by the way, so I like that cross. Pretty good. Smooth F12 pair number 1. I remember watching this. I have no idea what just happened right here. So this is. I remember watching this the first time. I have literally no idea. This like weird F2L trick that he did. I'm very So oh, one sec. I was gonna slow it down. So like this F2L trick is like I see it. It's it just so I don't know where where you picked this trick up for. It seems pretty interesting, but it seems like you're using it kind of incorrectly. Like, let me actually go back to the first thing I noticed. Okay, so right here, let's see. So you're doing green and orange, or white, green, and orange, and so in this case, so you did pretty much your trick here was you built the entire F2L pair. You can see here. You do a lot of moves to build the entire F2L pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you built the entire F2L pair, and then you did a 3-move insert. But what you didn't realize, this seems like you kind of developed a trick to build the pair into being solved on top, and then you inserted. But if you stop right here, you already have the 3-move insert. So you pretty much you already have this 3-move insert if you do a U, and then you can just insert. Then you do a 3-move insert to solve it on top, and then you do another 3-move insert. That's just kind of wasteful. Let me just kind of show. I'll just set up what you had real quick. I might not be as this specific for all these tips because this is just kind of indicative of a lot of stuff I saw in this average because I've already seen it. Oh, you had this exactly. So, oh, you didn't have this exactly. I know you did have this exactly. Wait, no you didn't. Oh, right, you had this. So you had this. So you have this. You're building your blue, red. In this case, it's blue, red, and green, or blue, red, and white here. And you pretty much you pull it out like this. And so this is good. And now you have a 3-move. You can just do a 3-move insert like that, and you're done. But you got to here, and then you paired it up like this. And so that's 3 extra moves, but you didn't need to do this because it was already in 3-move insert place. It kind of just seems like you would memorize this how to solve it on top and then put it in. So definitely you want to cancel that. Okay, this is like I remember watching. This is like what I remember watching this. I was so confused by what happened. I wasn't sure if it was good or bad. Okay, it's not. It's okay. That was good. It seems to just be. It was a little. I don't know. I don't really know. It's mostly done to cancel the rotation. I'm not gonna really comment on that. The biggest thing was that it it's just gonna be indicative of stuff later on. That was a pretty fancy F2L trick that a lot of moves and kind of a lot of thought just for that one case to cancel a rotation specifically. This is good. So Woodman doesn't use he used 2-look OLL. There's not really much to comment on that besides just you need to learn you need to stop doing that. You need to learn you need to learn full OLL. That's pretty key, especially at this time where you're averaging under 20 seconds. Definitely learn full OLL. Definitely something you want to invest in. I'd really recommend actually straight up no more solving. You're not allowed to do another solve. Learn every alg and then go back to solving because that's going to help you out a ton. And PLL skip. Oh, sorry. Oops. My bad, my bad. We're back. Okay. Alright, so pretty standard stuff. Alright, so right here, this cross. So you did the cross correctly. You just this is a good cross. It's a pretty simple cross. It's good. You just want to be kind of more be more cognizant of how you're gonna execute it exactly, because you do a rotation here. If you hold orange in front and you start with a D prime, you don't have to do a rotation. Like the key is that you did this rotation. You did the D prime and then you did the back two with your ring finger, which is kind of awkward. And then you did a rotation, and that would have made that move just an R2. So you could have rotated first and then done the R2. You actually could have done the entire thing from this angle initially, but okay, so in this case, you have these two pairs solved right here. This is a pretty basic case. Like, normally I wouldn't comment on, like, a specific case like this, but you have these two pairs solved. You can just do a 3-move insert for this pair, and then do a 3-move insert for this pair. You use something, I guess it might have been to cancel a rotation, but that's, if you already know that, I guess you can do it, but it seems just kind of tricky. Good. And last layer, assuming that, given the fact that you're doing 2-look OLL, your finger tricks and your algs for your last layer seem fine. You just need to learn 1-look OLL. Your PLL execution seem fine in most of this, and your OLL, the execution's fine. You just really need to learn your other OLLs. Okay, so this is a better example. In this case, I don't know if you were really planning on it, but you can see here that in this case, you did the entire cross from the same angle, which is going to save you a decent amount of time and help with look ahead. A little bit of fumble, but that's fine. Oh, okay, so there's one thing here. This is a good cross. You do it all from the same angle, but right here, you do an R, and then you do an R prime, which tells me that you didn't actually know. Either you saw a pair, either you didn't know exactly what was going to happen with the cross, or you saw a pair. Make sure you can do the entire cross blind every time. You shouldn't ever have to, like, look again afterwards. At your speed level, that's, like, a pretty reasonable thing to be doing. Sub 20 with 2-look OLL, that. Okay, this is actually, based on your speed, I assume you would, so you pretty much have, one sec. Yeah, you have this, so you have this case right here. You have the slots in the back, and you have this case right here. And based on your speed, sub 20, and the tricks that you know, I'm assuming if you got it from this angle, you do double sexy, and it's solved. Pretty basic, right? It looks like you're spending a lot of effort to try and save a rotation here. Like, it's like, oh, it's in the back. I don't want to really rotate. I kind of might know this trick to kind of cancel that or, like, do something interesting here like that, but in this case, it would just been faster double rotate. I've noticed this a lot throughout this average. A kind of thing is that you seem to know a lot of tricks to cancel rotations when they're kind of specific tricks, and you're kind of using them. You're using these advanced tricks for these basic cases, where the advanced trick was built for a specific case that is much more specific than what you're using it for. And in this general case that you're using, you might as well just do a rotation and do the simpler alg. That's kind of an overarching thing I've noticed on your solves in general. like the entire thing is that there's a lot of tricks going on, but the raw fundamentals of the basic cases, a lot of times if you just do a rotation in the basic case to be faster, it seems to be like you're applying advanced tricks when they're not as necessary in general. And then you're getting kind of confused in spots like this. Actually, wait, whoa. Right here, just an execution note. Right there, you gotta. This is a big deal. This is a bit hard for me when I switched, but this is mandatory. You can't do F prime with your left index finger. You just straight up cannot do it. Like right, boom. Your left thumb is on. Oh my god, I'm sorry guys. Sorry, let me replay this. Right here. Your thumb is on the left centerpiece, and you gotta use your right thumb to do the F prime. You can't. That regrip right there is really slow. You're turning like a half second ALG into like it's just awkward. Like F sexy F prime is like instant if you're good at it. If you're used to it, I mean. So just like that. That's fine. Oops. Oh shoot. I accidentally pressed S, which is the hotkey to stop it. And then you had an M slice U perm, which is fine as well. Where are we? Okay, this is the next solve. Oh, perfect. God. Okay, one sec. Okay. Here we go. Oh, never mind. That was the past solve. Okay, here we go. Next solve. So yeah, the biggest thing, I mean, a lot of stuff, especially in this average, especially with 3x3 averages, I do want to get 12 solves so I can see stuff. But as the average goes on, I'm not going to make the same comment, be like, oh, you should be doing 2 look O or 1 look OLL on every solve. Like, if the comment's the same, it's the same. So I'm just looking for new stuff to kind of help out. The biggest things I've already noticed are kind of advanced tricks that aren't really helping or necessary. I haven't really commented on look ahead either, but there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with look ahead. It just seems a little slow. It just seems that the F2L tricks are okay. That was good. I like that. Okay. This is a good F2L. I like that. Yep. Okay, so I'm not sure how people are learning their A perms. I guess some people do them like that. Their finger tricks, I'm not really qualified to comment on A perm, like PLL properly, but I like them the other way. I like doing your A perms the other way. Just make sure you're double triggering. You seem to have like a decent amount of advanced finger tricks going on, and you're pretty versatile with what you're doing. I can just really try and get this. The double flick's gonna be quick, really quick. It seems like you're going like 1-2, but it's just 1-2, 1-2. That's about all I gotta say there. Let's see. All right, next solve. Ooh, this is an interesting solve. This is just kind of a general comment on some of your crosses. It seems that you need to plan out. You're planning out the whole cross, I can tell, but you need to start at your level. You need to start thinking more about not just, oh, I can memorize the whole cross, but also think about the execution. You don't want to plan out the fewest moves cross. You want to plan out the fastest cross to execute. So think about your rotations. Think about what moves you're doing, how finger friendly they're going to be. It seems like you're pretty comfortable with doing the cross, so the next step there is think about how it's going to get executed as well. More interesting F2L tricks. Like, what I've noticed is that your best pairs are the ones that are simple. That there's like no frills, it's just standard pair. Every time you seem to do a trick, it seems kind of unnecessary and not as good as your other pairs. Your last layer is solid. Just learn your OLLs, but your PLL execution and recognition seems pretty standard for your speed. Let's see. Let's see, pretty similar comments about F12 here. Whoa. This is a pretty similar comment. Like, there was like 4 extra moves there to save a rotation, but doing a rotation in 3-move insert probably would have just been faster. It's like a lot of stuff to oh, one sec. Also, don't do wide F. I'm a big culprit of this, but you should learn the alg that doesn't use wide F prime for this. Just starts with R prime. It's the world record OLL in both world records. 459. It's this. Both 459s had that world record alg, except one of them had they both had skips also, right? I like the RUDG perms. Nice. Let's see. Woodman, I'm reading chat for Woodman's comments. I'm gonna answer other people's stuff later, but if Woodman, if you want to ask stuff, I'll respond to you while we're going, because it's your average. This was a case. I mean, this crosshair there just seemed like you kind of forgot. It just seemed like kind of a mistake. So people make mistakes. There's no real comment there. Okay, so actually, this is just a good. You seem to like fancy F2L tricks that maybe have less purpose, but there's some stuff stuff that's way more simple to do that has more, that'll help you out more. So in this case right here, this is your second to last pair, and you have a 3. It's already built. So in this, and you notice that you have no yellow edges oriented, and this piece isn't a yellow either. So after you insert this, no yellow edges are going to be oriented on top. Sledgehammer this. This is pretty simple stuff. I see you do it in the next pair, but in this case, just do a sledgehammer, and you're going to orient a couple edges. That's just going to make it easier to orient more edges later. You might as well always pick the option to orient more edges. This is an F2L trick that is more appropriate for your speed as opposed to a lot of the fancy rotation stuff. This is like a really simple trick. Like, I mean, honestly, none of the fancy rotation stuff, I don't do any of that. I do less tricks for my speed level, but you definitely don't need any of that stuff until you're closer to the 10-second range. Like, stuff like this is pretty basic to build into your solve, will always help you, and is something that won't mess you up. So right here again, so you do save or orient some edges, but you kind of didn't realize it. When you're doing your F2L pairs, it's just a good idea to always keep in mind, it's much better to be keeping in mind how many edges are oriented, especially when you're doing 2-leg OLL, as opposed to like, how can I cancel rotations, and like, how do I know an alg for this? You should be thinking in general like, oh, I see there's no yellows oriented, let's orient some yellows at the same time. So you do it there, but yeah. There you go, and then U-firm, right? Oh, okay, one sec. One note here is that you have, oh, I guess you do it from the back, so never mind. No notes, okay, that's fine. Alright, that was fine. Finger tricks were a little interesting on that cross, but you did keep no rotations, so I like that. This was a great example of the same thing I mentioned earlier. You did 3 moves, and then you were in a 3-move insert state, and then you did some fancy thing to build it on top and do a rotationless insert. Just rotate and do the insert. Alright, there you go. One recommendation, so this RUDG perm is good. It's good that you know this. But for this RUDG perm, I would recommend, sorry, cut out there. I would recommend, for that RUDG perm specifically, which is, wait, no, it's this one. So you can do the RUD one, which is nice, but, oops, I didn't do it right, but you know what I mean. But this one is like the fastest G perm. If you start it like, you should learn the other one for 3x3, I'd recommend. Like, even I can do it in a second, and I'm bad at PLL execution. So, I'd recommend learning that. But more importantly, though, is learning all your OLLs. If you're learning any algs, learn your OLLs. Okay. There's probably not gonna be too much new stuff in here, but I do want to watch these, see kind of what's going on. Okay, 20 minutes. I was planning on like half an hour for these analyses. That cross, it looks like you're building one piece at a time. Just make sure you're just kind of going along with cross stuff. Make sure you're cognizant of everything kind of working together. Yeah, that was pretty nice. I like that. That was good. That was by far the cleanest solve of the whole average so far. Like, easily. Oh, God. Oops. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about the layout. Actually, let's go watch. Let's go back and watch. My bad. I'm really bad at this for some reason. This is the best solve of the average by far so far. It's easily the cleanest. There's no unnecessary frills or anything. It just oh wait, this isn't it. Never mind. This isn't it. Is it? No, it's not. I mean, yeah, wait. Wait. Oh yeah, that was it. All right, here we go. Yeah, here we go. So this is 3 of insert, standard. Some easy cases, but nothing bad here. Then kind of an interesting execution on the V perm, but oh, the celebration! You got to go for the celebration. It's not a good solve if you don't react. Like, that was just a good example. Like, you didn't do anything fancy. It was just smooth cases, and it was your best solve of the whole session. Easily. Definitely looked the best, too. Just smooth cases, nothing fancy at all necessary. Okay, that cross definitely looked like you did not have it planned out, but that's okay. Nothing really new here. You're getting a lot of U-perms. I think this is the last solve. He's got 11. Yeah, so that was the whole average. Yeah, the last 2 solves are pretty much more the same, but the biggest thing, so I'll kind of go over each part. Cross, it's good that you can memorize the whole thing. That's important. Now you need to start working on thinking of how the pieces are. Don't memorize it in a way of like, I'm building this piece, then this piece. Kind of think about how all the pieces are coming together, and think about the actual turns. You want the fastest cross to execute, not the fewest moves cross. Oftentimes, they're pretty similar, but you want the fastest execution. F12, by far the biggest thing, is too many tricky things that the tricks you're trying to use are useful in very specific scenarios, and they're not, you're using them as like blanket options. Do more, I wouldn't say this mostly, but do more rotations. You're doing a lot of extra moves instead of rotations. Rotations aren't that slow, especially at your level, it's totally fine to do rotations. If you ever watch Bill Wang solve, there's a bunch of rotations, and he does all RU, F2L, and he sub 7 global. So that's the biggest thing. Also, instead of doing like tricks to stop, you're at the point where you can start thinking about. It's a good idea to start thinking about F2L tricks at sub 20, especially when you're at 18 with or 17 average with 2-look OLL. It's a good idea to start thinking about a little more than just doing your F2L cases, but the biggest thing is partial edge control on your third or fourth pair is a much more helpful and much more easy way to kind of build up and more advanced stuff than learning these kind of advanced cases for stuff that's not as necessary, or learning pick your worst F2L case and learn an alg for that. That's just a pure case as opposed to like a specific, not a case within a case, just like these 2 pieces are here and I want to learn this case. Stuff like that. The advanced stuff's really not as necessary. The big, like, look ahead is smooth solves, and look ahead is way, way, way more important. Your turning speed on F2L is good. You're pretty smooth. I like that. I think it's a good turning speed for your look ahead speed. I wouldn't recommend trying to turn any faster right now. Maybe just a little more fluid. Sometimes it looks like a little uncomfortable, but I like the turning speed. I think it's good. It allows you to look at your pieces. Not as many, it's pretty fluid, so the biggest thing is, yeah, kind of switch your focus to look ahead, basic, you want to master the basic cases before you move on to the advanced cases. You kind of leapfrog being in the middle there. You got to master your basic 42 case F2L, which is like just the pure cases in one slot. You got to master those, and then you can kind of move on to fancy stuff. And like master like 12-second average at least. For a lot of the stuff you're seeing, you don't need to be doing until at least 10-second average. A partial edge control is a good thing that's simple and you can build on and won't like overload your brain with stuff. OLL, you gotta learn full OLL. That's on your sub 20, your 17-second average of 2-look. 1-look OLL is gonna cut you, especially with minimal partial edge control here, a ton of time. I'd honestly recommend stop solving completely, learn every case, which is gonna suck, but it'll take a couple of days, and then just continue solving. And that way, when you get there, you'll know you know the case. I like the finger tricks; they're fine. Stop using F prime with your left index though. Got to use the right thumb. And then PLLs look fine. Pretty standard stuff. Recognition's about the same speed as the rest of your solves. Nothing bad there. You might want to think about working on 2-look recognition, but that's not 100% necessary at your level. It'll kind of come naturally. I wouldn't say you need to work on it. I've never worked on it specifically, and I pretty much have it naturally, so it's not something that's too specific. So yeah, that's kind of a good summary. I don't know if you have any questions. Good place to learn OLL, as Woodman asked, is Felix's Cube Skill site. Someone can link it probably. So biggest thing is smooth, master the basic cases before you move to the advanced stuff. So yeah.